Topping today's news, gun violence mars the Easter holiday weekend, claiming the lives of 3. The government getting closer to introducing cannabis legislation and collecting fines for a recent oil spill in the Exumas and a sunken ship near Abaco. And Carifta Swim and Track and Field makes us proud with their weekend performances. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your Jcn Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. A third homicide for the weekend took place on Easter Monday here in the capital. The killing follows 2 other murders, all 3 in less than 24 hours. Around 1 p.m. on Monday, a fisherman, after returning from a trip to sea, was gunned down in the area of the Sand Trap. That's a boat ramp on West Bay Street by a man described as a Rasta type. Chief Superintendent of Police and officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, Michael Johnson, gave reporters the following details on the scene.
Shortly after 1 p.m. today, 2 fishermen pulled at this dock just in the area of Sand Trap. As they were coming off of the boat, a gunman emerged from a nearby area and opened fire on one of the victims, fatally wounding him. On completion of this, he ran from this area and got into what we believe is a small jeep and left this area, making good his escape. Again, we appeal to members of this area and anybody who may have any information in relation to this latest homicide to contact CID at 502-999-1 or 2 or our crime tipsis line, and your information will be in the strictest of confidence.
Police say the dreadlocked male responsible for this latest killing is believed to be in his 40s, further revealing that the suspect is believed to be driving a dark-colored SUV. Chief Superintendent Johnson adds that, as far as police know, the victim was not known to police. However, he says more will be uncovered as investigations continue into this, the 26th murder for 2023.
Again, it's very early in this investigation. We have to do a victimology on the victim and also speak to the person who was with him to see if he can provide any vital information that could assist with the progress of this investigation. Anybody who was in this area at the time of this incident, we know this area is a populated area. It's a known area where fishermen come in and out and persons who own jet skis come in and out. So we're appealing to anybody who was in this area at the time of this.
Again, police are appealing to members of the public who were in the area at the time of the murder to contact them anonymously at 328-TIPS. That's 328-8477. Earlier on the Easter Monday holiday, another murder took place on the island of Eleuthera. According to reports, shortly after 3 a.m., police were alerted to a traffic accident near an area commonly known as White Town in Hatchet Bay, Eleuthera. However, when officers arrived on the scene, they found a male on the inside of a vehicle with apparent gunshot wounds to his upper body. The district medical officer visited the scene and pronounced the victim deceased. A team of officers from the Criminal Investigation Department here on New Providence, they were expected to travel to Eleuthera to conduct further investigations on that homicide. And on Easter Sunday night, a dispute between neighbors turned deadly. Criminal investigators here in the capital are now on the hunt for the man believed to be responsible for the shooting death of his neighbor. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings telling reporters on the scene that an argument escalated into a physical altercation that subsequently turned deadly. The overnight killing unfolded shortly before 10 p.m. on Sunday in the area of Dunmore Street in the Bainstown area just off of Blue Hill Road.
Officers responded and once in the area discovered a male with gunshot injuries to the upper body. The information suggests as far as that 2 males, both of whom are residents of this community, both of whom are neighbors, got into a verbal altercation which escalated, resulting in a 31-year-old male being shot. He succumbed to his injuries on scene.
According to officers, the suspect made good his escape on foot in an unknown direction. Police are making an appeal to family members and friends who may know the whereabouts of the suspect to contact the police. Chief Superintendent Skipping is reminding you that anyone found harboring criminals will result in criminal charges being made against you as well.
On high alert right now. We are seeking to locate him so that we can have a conversation with him and do our due diligence inside this matter. And so I want to encourage family members as well. You need to turn your loved one into us. He committed an offense. The law must now take its course. And let me say that if you fail to turn him in and we find that you're harboring him, then there's some other consequences, because you too can find yourself going before the court for harboring a fugitive.
Police are also making this appeal to people in the community who may find themselves in conflict with others that can be solved without violence.
Persons in other communities who are having issues with their neighbors, whatever the issue is, residents, I want to encourage you, go to the nearest police station, speak with the divisional commanders, speak with the community policing officers, or even go into the urban renewal centers. If you are having an issue in your community, a conflict with anyone in your community, we're asking you to bring it to our attention so that we can help you resolve the matter without it having to be escalated. And family members as well, there's no reason for you to consider retaliating or anything like that. We're going to get to the bottom of this situation, and I can assure you the law will take its course.
On to more positive news. Prime Minister Philip Davis touting the Bahamas' Carifta swim team, who for the 5th consecutive time took the Carifta swim title while competing in Curacao over the Easter holiday weekend. While congratulating the team, Prime Minister Davis says their performance, their teamwork, and remarkable talent have led them to score a record-breaking 1,113 points. The team, led by coaches Trevano McPhee, Alan Murray, Manser Roberts Jr., and Cameron Bruni, collected 37 gold medals, 27 silver, and 21 bronze medals for a total of 85 medals. The swim team returned home on Monday afternoon, and they were introduced and lauded for their success by fans at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium at the Carifta Track and Field Championships, where they were also, like we said, they were lauded over, and fans just appreciated their performance.
I spoke to Lord Cole, president of athletics, World Athletics. He said this is the best Carifta game he ever attended in his life. And that ends my comment on that.
That is Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg responding to criticisms from some Jamaicans who either attended or watched the Carifta Track and Field Championships live and thought some of the officiating was unfair. The Carifta Track and Field Championships hosted 800 athletes from some 32 countries in the region. Minister Boleg says these games, held here in the Bahamas for the 9th time, was one for the books, and he commended the government and the local organizing committee, who he says did a wonderful job.
Well, it went pretty well. Nothing is done perfectly. We had our little hiccups, but you wouldn't have known that, because then we'd try and correct those things right away. And so nothing is perfect, but I think we did the best job we can, and ensure that we pull off the Carifta the best way we know how. And there always will be room for improvements, and so we'll continue looking at means of ways as other events continue to come on board, how we could capitalize on improving in the various areas that we felt that we could have done better.
Now, despite some behind-the-scenes challenges, the sports minister says most in attendance were well pleased with the overall event, including Caribbean sports officials.
When I say challenges, it wasn't really challenges. It's that, some things happens beyond your control that, that the general public may not see, that we would just, and behind the scene fix it and get it right done. That's what I'm talking about. Not no major issues that would occur, but there's in every event there's technical issues and things that comes about. That is corrected as the event continue on. So there was no major issue, but then things happen. And even in the present state of our facility, it's still one of the best in the Caribbean, even comprised with Jamaica or any other. And we will continue on improving our facilities. And I think, again, most of all of the Caribbean countries that attended, along with the World Athletics executives, NACAC executives, and the various ministers from the various Caribbean countries, all felt that we did a great job. They enjoyed it, and they felt that this event really was pulled off for the 50th anniversary, and the Bahamas did a great job representing the Caribbean by doing so.
The Bahamas finished second behind Jamaica with 9 gold medals, 13 silver medals, and 20 bronze medals for a total of 41 medals, compared to just 17 16 total medals last year at the competition in Jamaica. Jamaica won the team title once again this year with 37 gold medals and a total of 68 medals altogether. And finally, in this segment, as one major sporting event ends, the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium is set to see another major event with the Bahamas Games this summer, followed by the IAAF World Track and Field Championships in May of 2024. Requests made by the government of the Bahamas for assistance in repairs to the stadium was confirmed by China's ambassador to the Bahamas, Jcn Lee. Just last week, Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg revealed that the Chinese government offered to fund the repairs, albeit with the possibility of Chinese workers being used, something the minister says the government does not agree with. The Chinese ambassador was questioned by the reporters on the proposed multi-million-dollar repairs to the stadium.
Indeed, we have been engaged with the Bahamas government in terms of the repair and the renovation of the Thomas Robinson Stadium. And we are having these positive discussions and are taking things forward. We have received the project proposal from the Bahamas government in August last year. And in that proposal, they proposed a certain scale of funding that is needed. And we are now in China, we're now going through the process of looking at the scale of the project and looking at the funding that is necessary. So this process is still ongoing. So the scale of work, the scope of work, and also the funding scale will be determined as we progress with this approval procedure.
Ambassador Jcn Lee goes on to speak on China's commitment to refurbishing the stadium that was originally built by the Chinese government as a gift to the Bahamian people in 2012.
But China is committed to renovating this stadium. And we are sorry to see that the stadium is not in perfect state because of lack of maintenance for the past 7-8 years and for various other reasons. So we are very keen to work with the Bahamas government to fully renovate this stadium and to present a new and world-class facility for the Bahamian people.
Last week, it was reported that Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Boleg estimates the repairs to the stadium to be in the area of $30 million. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.